The purpose of this video is to answer some of the questions you might have on the Compact 33 series of hinges from Blum. They're die-cast self-closing hinge for face frame cabinets. You might have in your home a Compact 31 hinge from Blum. The only difference between the hinges is that there's a little bit different of a hole profile on the hinge cup. The hole pattern for the Compact 31 is sort of like it's obsolete. If you have to replace that hinge, you're going to have to put drill new holes for the hinge cup. Otherwise, all the information in this video works for both of those hinges. And if you have Compact 31s in your home and you want to replace them, you can replace them with a Compact 33, or you can replace them with some of the other hinges from Blum that are for face frame cabinets. What we're looking at in this video segment is the Blum Compact 33 hinge. This is a die-cast hinge with a die-cast mounting plate. The part number is a 33360 from Blum. The die-cast hinge has a hinge cup, that's this part of the hinge, and it has a hinge arm, which is this part of the hinge. So if you're going to use a compact hinges, or maybe you already have them in your home and you need to replace some, you're buying a hinge like this. You can buy it with a screw-on, where screws go into the wood, or they can be doweled and used with an insertion machine. So there is the hinge cup. Then there is a hinge mounting plate. The hinge mounting plate has the overlay stamped right into the mounting plate. So you don't really have to know what the overlay of your door is in this circumstance. You need to know what is written on the hinge mounting plate. And then you could order your replacement parts or your new hinges for your new project by doing that. So you'll order, first of all, a hinge cup, and then you order a mounting plate, whatever overlay you desire. The self-closing mechanism is right here. If that breaks, you'll hear a clicking sound. Well, you can either listen to the clicking sound or replace the hinge. My suggestion is replace the hinge if that self-closing mechanism breaks. So if only your hinge cup breaks, just the cup, you do not need to order a mounting plate, just the cup. And if the plate breaks, then you got to order that. So it is possible to order them separately. Now let's take a look at the hinge in the working sample here that we have on the table. This is a working sample of the Blum Compact 33 hinge. Here we see it installed, the Compact 33 hinge. Here's the hinge cup with the hinge arm. And then back here we have the hinge mounting plate that's mounted to the face frame like you see right here. So this represents the face frame, and then this is the inside of the plate. So you really are seeing it like this. So there's your mounting plates, edge mounted to the face frame. The hinge cup is fastened to the mounting plates with this set screw, and it requires the use of a posi drive screwdriver to get a really good hold on the screw. A regular Phillips screwdriver has a tendency to bounce out of the slot. So try to get your hands on a posi drive screwdriver. When the hinge, the door, and these hinge arms are fully seated in the hinge, in this case, because this is a half-inch overlay door with a half-inch overlay mounting plate. When you put when the hinge arm is fully seated, that's when you have 1/2 of an inch overlay. You have the ability to reduce the overlay by 1/8 of an inch. So there's an 1/8 of an inch play here. So we can do that, and now we have reduced the overlay by 1/8 of an inch. But you cannot get more than 1/2 of an inch. You can reduce your overlay by 1/8 of an inch, but you can't will not increase your overlay with the Blum Compact Hinge. Again, to mention that these are die-cast hinges. They have at times broken, so then you need to order a new set of hinges, and the overlay is marked on the mounting plate, and that's what you would order. Up and down is adjustable by using the mounting plates, loosening the screws, and shifting it up and down. You've perhaps heard people say that it's troublesome to remove the doors and reinstall the doors on the Compact 33 hinges. And it is true, it is not real easy. It's hard to get the plates lined up. So let's just look at removing and reinstalling the door. So there's the plates you can remove. There. Now the door is removed. What people have the tendency to do is to think that they're going to slide this on this way. They're going to come from this side and slide it on. That is not the case. You're going to put your door in like this, and then slide the hinge onto the plate. And then when you slide it all the way in, you have accomplished a 1/2 inch overlay in this particular case because of the mounting plates I have. And then you can move it. You have a play of 1/8 of an inch. You can reduce by 1/8 of an inch on your overlay. I keep rubbing that in because some people think that they're going to be able to increase their overlay. If you buy a 1/2 inch mounting plate, that is the max. There is no increasing overlay with this Compact 33 hinge series. You can only reduce. Another thing I want to mention is the hole that you drill here is a 35 millimeter hole. It's a 1/2 inch deep. However, this is the main thing right here. This space from the edge of the door to the edge of that hole needs to be 1/8 of an inch or 3 millimeters. That's the specified drilling distance for the Compact 33 hinges, 1/8 of an inch. If you should happen to break your hinge cup, these are the two options that are available: a screw-on and one with a dowel. And the edge, or the mounting plates, the edge mounting plates on the edge of your face frame, we have the overlay options from 1/4 of an inch to 1 inch in one style, and then the larger overlays in the other style. And then finally a face mounting plate. Those are all available. Hope you liked this video, and if you did, give her the thumbs up and subscribe and share it with all your friends.